Hey guys, the Healing Oracle here, and I'm coming on to do a video that I have been absolutely pulled to do tonight. And I know it was my guys, my higher self, wanted to put this together for you guys. Going to clarify some things that I've been posting, as well as talk a lot about frequency, vibration, and how that denotes what reality we see in front of us. And that kind of goes with some of the light beings and guides and angels that are here assisting at this time. How does frequency work for them? And just bringing you in some detail to help you understand that. Okay, so the first diagram I have here is a little hard to follow, but above the gentleman you see the different bodies. We have the spiritual body, the mental body, the astral body, and the etheric body. And then you go into light waves, okay? X-ray waves, light waves, heat waves, electricity waves, sound waves, and then you see solids at the bottom. And yes, solid is a wave. Anything we perceive as solid is merely just on a frequency, a vibration, just as much as sound, electricity, heat, light. And then over to the left of the diagram, on the very left side, you see all these numbers. And what each of these numbers mean is how many vibrations per second is this specific item vibrating at. So heat vibrates at 200 billion per second. Light color spectrum is in the 500 billion vibrations per second. And in each section, in each column here, take the light color spectrum for example, there's going to be several different vibrations in that single section, such as purple vibrates at a such and such frequency, so on and so forth. And then of course when you get to astral and etheric, nobody's been there and taken the instruments to measure it, so it's unaware at this point. I do want to point out at the bottom it says, I like how they word this, it says man's response to vibrations, which is exactly right. Everything is all about perception. How are we perceiving the vibration? How are we perceiving our own vibration? How are we perceiving the vibration of electricity and heat coming at us? And this next one sparked somewhat of a debate, so I wanted to come in and clarify some things. When your ears start to ring, or it seems to increase in vibration, you are increasing in vibration yourself. You're tuning into higher frequencies, integrating spiritual downloads, receiving insight from your spirit guides, or perceiving higher dimensions of reality. Both or one ear may ring simultaneously. This is normal to experience as you progress on your ascension journey. And this is absolutely true. I saw some comments that said, well, my ears ring all the time, it's just tinnitus. Yeah, they may ring all the time, and when it's ringing all the time, you are actually tuning into your own vibration. You are hearing yourself vibrate. And then you will notice, if you pay attention, that at times it may seem to get louder or softer or more intense, or all around different in any certain situation. This is when you need to be paying attention to what thoughts are coming in, because this is typically your guides or your higher self trying to get your attention on something. So those thoughts that seem to come out of nowhere, where you have to stop and think, did I just think that? where did this thought come from? That's weird, I wouldn't think that at this time or something. These are your guides and your higher self, angels, giving you direction, wisdom, insight, your intuition. That's what your intuition is your higher self. And I will say too that the higher tune, the higher of pitch, typically indicates that you're working with a much higher, even a sixth, seventh dimensional being, light being, or extra dimensional being, or you would consider it an extraterrestrial. Those are mainly our guides and our higher self as well. So pay attention to the pitch and the tone too. And you may be also getting downloads at that time. It's just like downloading something to your computer, or dialing up on dial-up modem, if you remember that sound. So pay very close attention when you are hearing this increase or change in tune. Okay, in this next one, you have my permission to laugh at me because I censored this little guy, but it was the perfect picture, the perfect explanation of what I wanted to educate on, and it just so happened that it was anatomically correct, but you have my permission to laugh. But okay, all laughs out of our system. So let's start with the down at the bottom towards his feet. You have the physical plane, and then this extends into the mental body, emotional body, and the etheric body. And actually, there should be the spirit body in there as well. However, this is where this saying comes in that we are multi-dimensional beings. Every single extended line that you see is a dimension. We are concurrently, simultaneously in many dimensions at the same time. Our mental body is not the same dimension as our emotional body or etheric body, and each body, each layer of existence has its own frequency or vibration that it rests with. And the vibration is the rate of waves. So the rate, and then the frequency is the sound that it emits. I always like to take the comparison to the origami dolls, the children's activity where you fold paper and then cut a person out and you unroll it. That is a perfect example of how we are concurrently existing in multiple layers at the same time, multiple dimensions. And then you access these different layers, different dimensions, by simply shifting your awareness. So when I go into channeling or trance state, I shift my awareness to my etheric body. I close my eyes and I push my consciousness out into my etheric body. Take my focus there. My focus is etheric at that point. Another body that's great to focus on if you're wanting to do channeling or communication with your guides or your higher self, of course, is the astral. And if you take a look at the right side, starting at the bottom, the first layer, second, third, etc., they correspond with the chakras. So the first auric layer is going to be your protection of life energies, of course, and that's your base chakra with your survival needs. Second would be your sacral, which has a lot to do with feelings and emotions. Third, of course, is your solar, which is ideas and beliefs and power, of course. And then I also want to point out that these are also correlating simultaneously with the current dimensions. Okay, so we are third, fourth, transitional, of course, but third dimensional, where this is where we are, 3D Earth. We have ideas and belief systems and filters and the forgetting veil. And this is exactly what we're trying to break free and go into the fourth, which is when we start being more aware of our relationships with things, ourself, our significant others, anybody in our family, our soul family. We become more aware that we have the power to create and uncreate. Ultimately, we are the creators and the destructors of our own reality here, which is what we become aware of when we start activating the fourth auric layer, which is also correlating with the fourth density dimension, so to speak. So I feel like I need to clarify here that this is all about what's activated on us, because when we start activating like the fifth auric layer, this is where we kind of connect with our guides and our higher self, and our guides have already had these activated with themselves. So in a sense, this is when we start reaching out and realizing that there's other parts of ourselves out there, higher self and our guides, and then going upwards, sixth, we have the realization, the real awareness of cause and effect, the mirror from internal to external world. We are affecting this every moment, every single second, every moment of our life. Our thoughts and our actions are affecting the world around us. And then upwards to the seventh, when we have open contact with our higher self and our guides and other light beings, multi-dimensional beings, extra-dimensional, extraterrestrial, and then upwards and upwards. And I will say that the more and more we start activating these auric layers, the more it may seem like it's physical to you. It's like a new normal, but it's not necessarily physicality as it is more visualizing, accepting, just a general overall awareness of the happenings around you. In this diagram here, so it shows the 3D Earth encapsulated, and you can see the astral is somewhat of a, I don't want to call it a void, but it doesn't necessarily lie in any dimension. When you go to the left of the diagram, you will see the dimensions of 4, 5, 6, and 7, in which the extraterrestrial groups of the Nordics reside, and Andromedians, at least in this diagram. Along with that should be like the Arcturians, the Lyrians, the Syrians. Some of these are in a designated dimension, but the Nordics are mainly fourth. But the Andromedians can be, depending on their ascension levels, fourth, fifth, or sixth. It depends on their own journey, as well as the Arcturians. The Arcturians that I have worked with are mainly fifth, but there are a few sixth that do associate, and the ones from the sixth also work as guides from the beings from the fifth, and then the seventh for the sixth, if that makes sense. Just as we have our, quote, spirit guides, which are different from the extraterrestrial guides who reside in the, most of the time, the dimension above us. And this is a really good diagram to explain polarization, as you can see the polarization in this picture. And just as there are positively polarized dimensional frequencies with its inhabiting beings, of course you're going to have your negatively polarized dimensions with the negative beings, as shown. So let's take the fourth dimension for example. You would have fourth dimensional positive, and then for an exact opposite mirror, you would have fourth dimensional negative. Same with fifth density positive, fifth density negative, so on and so forth. It's a mirrored vibration of opposite polarization. The Law of One books state that, speaking of polarizations, fifth density negative is the last. You can ascend to a negative polarization. After that, you have to switch to positive polarization to move on to sixth. So negative polarization ends at the fifth density mark. After that, it is all positive, all love, all light. I do want to now switch our discussion to light beings, extra-dimensional beings, multidimensional beings, extraterrestrial beings, interterrestrial beings, and just go over at least a few of them just to get an idea of who's been working with us, who's helping a little, who's helping a lot. A lot of these star beings are our soul family. If you're a light worker or starseed, you know that you came from one of these groups, and whichever one you're resonating with the most, or is very, or if you really know, if you really remember, just to give you some insight on who they are, where they're from, what they're like. First of all, though, I'd like to go into how this is initiated. So first you make an agreement before you incarnate here that you will go through this journey and you will be contacted during this time from your soul family. So while you're incarnated after several years, or even while you're young, they will contact your higher self first, okay, through deep sleep, very unconscious dreams, and then once it's decided from both parties, all parties, that you are ready, you will start to have incorporated dreams. Then it'll go into lucid dreams, then contact during meditation, deep meditation, and then before you know it, you'll be in contact consciously. Now, this does take some time, and it does not happen overnight. There is much spiritual work to be done, letting go of old programs, old traumas to work through, healing, spiritual healing, habit healing, forgiving self, forgiving others. It's a long process, but it is very much well worth it. These beings just want to help out of light, out of love. Here is a beautiful construction of an Arcturian being. This is very similar to what I've seen, communicated with. The beautiful blue skin, the beautiful eyes, the ridge down the middle of the forehead there, just gorgeous. And they are from the star Arcturus, of course, and our physics model shows that star is an orange star. That is not right. It is actually a bluish tinge tone, which actually gives them their skin tone. But this is a kind of how they do communicate with us, because there's so many dimensions above. The energy just kind of acts like a funnel onto us, and it's up to us to receive it, of course. Arcturians are benevolent beings from the Boots constellation that have kept Earth safe from the evil agendas of both Grey and Reptilian. Arcturian possesses universal knowledge about the greater meanings of spiritual and mental health and allow humanity to tap into their teachings through Arcturian alien channelings. Arcturians teach about love, peace, and spirit. However, Arcturians also possess the might of war. Yes, this is true. They will defend themselves if they need to. Through their use of the Arcturian starship, the Athena, Arcturians are able to protect Earth with an unbelievable force. Many who follow the believings of the Arcturians are the beginning of the revolution of the conscious age that will one day lead humans to the powerful and mystical forces the Arcturians practice today. I, myself, in a conscious dream, traveled and seen their healing chambers. They're very, very high tech, and it's almost like out of the sci-fi movies, but they're energetic healing chambers. They can identify, heal, and protect in just a matter of minutes. It's incredible. And this is just another wonderful photo that I found of the Arcturians, and these are women Arcturian. They're very focused on love and healing, helping healing the planet by connecting with us and teaching us about love and how to understand it, love ourselves, forgive ourselves, heal ourselves from the inside out, that we have all we need inside of us to heal us. And here we have a beautiful depiction of a blue avian, and these are very, very high vibrational, loving beings, and they, I believe, are sixth density beings, and they've actually descended to fifth to communicate the Law of One books for us. They are the creators of the Law of One books, and they also call themselves Ra. Okay, the group conscious is Ra. Origin is Central Galaxy, and they are here to guide and monitor. Planetary sphere is their ship shape. Again, guidance. One of the Sphere Alliance that is overseeing our local star system to prevent the galactic war. So their ship is actually a shape of a blue sphere. It's really incredible. So if you see or hear of anybody talk about seeing blue spheres in their home or outside in the air, typically these are going to be your blue avians, and they've actually communicated that the blue spheres themselves are conscious beings, and they are ninth dimensional themselves. Moving on to the Vegans, origin is the star system Vega. Their agenda is to guide and protect. They can have a lifespan of 2,000 Earth years. Ship shape is a donut or a round. Their base teachings is spiritual and technology, and Vegans are the vigilance and intelligence. They are guiding us. So a lot of us are going to have Vegan guides. There are a couple different depictions of Vegans, and there's another photo coming up next. In the next photo, my daughter, I believe, has a Vegan guide that astral travels with her, and coming up here, that is exactly how she describes her. I was actually looking through pictures one day and came across this, and she's 4, my daughter's 4, and she says, "Hey, that's Prigby," which is the name of her guide that astral travels with her. So that was confirmation of me. So I do know that they are hybrids. They are mixed between genetically one race and another. I'm not sure which, but very benevolent beings. Going to the Lyrians, obviously the star system of Lyra, was more of a constellation. They are here to observe and neutralize. They have a lifespan of 1,000 Earth years, and they have ring ships or donut-shaped ships. And their base teaching is technology and spiritualism. There's a couple different depictions of them too, and you gotta think in a single star system, there's multiple planets, so multiple planets can have life forms emerge that are very similar, but these are very loving, peaceful beings. And the one coming up next, I've actually had contact with, and as one of my guides, a very lavender color, beautiful feline type Lyrian. They're very shy, and this is because they have a gift of, like, it's instant, like teleportation almost, to where they just change their vibration to the area that they are wanting to go to. They remote view the area, they change their vibration to the area, and then they just go. And this is very coveted. So I think they formed a shyness from it. But when the one guide was initiating contact with me, she was very shy and reserved, and apparently she said because of who I was that she was nervous to talk to me, but she was very grateful. I'm not quite sure what that means, but very, very sweet, very kind, very compassionate, very loving. We could really learn a lot from these beings if we just open up. And these are the Sirius beings from the star Syria. I couldn't find too much on them, but I know Miss Larissa Cosmos, the wonderful lady that works with me on the live feeds, knows so much about the Syrians. I know they're very loving, very compassionate beings themselves. And then this is one an adept of them. I know they can be pure energy beings, which is coming next. But they're all about love. Love is their main teaching. What love can do for us, what love is, how we need to understand that love is going to change everything on this planet. Very much so. Love is their religion. They live for love. They breathe for love. Here are a few races of the inner earth beings. These specific call themselves the Anshar, who state that there are deep caverns that can be accessed from the surface of the earth into these caverns where they've created their civilizations. And strangely enough, they claim that they are us from the future, humanity who had evolved into a fourth density civilization, and they were noticing Mandela effects. So they sent themselves back and to fix the timeline. So they've been reaching out to the planet of the Earth through through telepathy. They have like a room with chairs, or so to speak, in them, and then they meditate and give us ideas, wisdom through telepathy, and assist us that way in creating new realities and showing us how to create our realities to create a more optimal timeline, a more positive timeline for us, because that's where they're from, was the positive timeline. Just a few pictures at the end. Here is a blue avian in ancient Egyptian artwork. Beautiful. Here is an adaptation of the blue sphere, whom I said was actually a conscious being itself. and here is an ancient Egyptian as well of someone traveling inside one of those blue spheres. And here is, I want to say it's one of their ships of some kind, in the inside of one of the being's ships. And a golden trailhead being who is apparently 8th density. Very, very, very high vibration, and actually his telepathy creates like rainbows, energetic waves. There's some light beings. Well, thank you all so very much for your patience and tuning in. I so appreciate it. I just, all of a sudden at 11:11 tonight, got a ping from my guides that this is something that I needed to do, and I felt like it was right. So if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate, and I plan to do some more of these when time allows. Love and light to you all.